Have you ever been stuck in traffic, glanced over, and seen a motorcyclist do something totally baffling? Maybe they leaned way over during a turn, or you saw them standing up on their bike for no apparent reason. It's like they're speaking in a secret code that you're just not privy to. Well, you're not alone. In fact, there are a bunch of things that only motorcyclists do, and for non-bikers, they can seem downright strange. But here's the thing, there's always a reason behind these actions. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 7 of the most confusing, eyebrow-raising things motorcyclists do. And trust me, by the end, you'll understand exactly why they do what they do. So, let's dive right into it. Number 1. The mysterious blinkers that won't turn off. Picture this, you're cruising behind a motorcyclist and for the past 15 minutes, their left turn signal has been blinking away. You start wondering, are they about to turn left? Are they lost? Maybe it's just a mistake. Well, the reason behind this isn't as mysterious as it seems. You see, unlike cars, most motorcycles don't come with self-canceling blinkers. So, when a biker forgets to turn them off, they end up flashing for much longer than intended. But it's not always forgetfulness at play. Sometimes the blinker might get stuck in the on position due to a malfunction. And sometimes it's simply a habit. Some riders keep their blinkers on even when they don't need them, just out of routine. But whatever the reason, it can get pretty confusing for everyone else on the road. And speaking of confusing, this leads us to another common but puzzling motorcycle move. Number 2. Speeding away from stop signs, like they're late for something. Motorcycles are small and nimble, which makes them great for dodging traffic. But have you ever seen a motorcyclist dart out of a stop sign with lightning speed? It can be unsettling, especially if you're in a car and you're wondering where they think they're going so fast. Here's the thing. Motorcyclists sometimes feel the need to accelerate quickly, especially in tight spots, narrow roads, or residential areas. When you're on a bike, you don't have the luxury of being as visible as a car, so getting out of a potentially dangerous situation fast is often the priority. They're not trying to show off or break speed limits, they're just trying to get out of harm's way. But this isn't always about safety. In some cases, they just don't realize how fast they're accelerating. The lighter weight of the bike can make acceleration feel smoother than it really is, leaving drivers behind them scrambling to react. But there's another motorcycling habit that feels like it's straight out of a science experiment. It's the strange art of Number 3. Leaning on their bikes during turns. If you've ever watched a motorcyclist turn, you've probably noticed something unusual. They lean their entire body into the turn. It looks like they're about to fall off the bike. So why do they do this? Is it a stunt? Actually, no. It's about physics. When a motorcycle turns, the rider needs to counterbalance the bike to avoid tipping over. By leaning, they maintain control and shift their weight in a way that keeps the bike stable. In tight or sharp turns, this lean becomes crucial. In fact, without leaning, turning on a motorcycle would be nearly impossible, especially at higher speeds. It's the same reason you'll see professional racers lean so hard during their turns. It's how they navigate corners without losing control. But while leaning helps them maintain control, it's not the only thing bikers do to stay safe and in command. There's also the issue of Number 4. The strange standing position on their bikes. You've probably seen it before. Motorcyclists standing up on their bikes while cruising down the road. It might seem like they're just showing off, but there's actually a practical reason behind this odd move. Riding a motorcycle isn't always smooth sailing. Potholes, bumps, and rough patches in the road can make a ride uncomfortable. By standing up on the pegs, motorcyclists allow their knees to absorb the shock instead of their spine. It's a simple trick to make riding over bumps less painful, especially if the rear suspension is too stiff to soften the impact. In some cases, it's also a way to stretch out. Long rides can get tiring, and standing up gives bikers a chance to loosen up and relieve muscle tension. Trust me, it's not about looking cool, it's about staying comfortable. And speaking of comfort, there's another behavior that might confuse you, especially if you're stuck behind a motorcyclist for a while. It's when they suddenly, Number 5, slow down without using their brake lights. Imagine this, you're driving behind a motorcyclist and suddenly they start slowing down, but their brake lights don't light up. You're left wondering if they're just coasting or if something's wrong. Here's the scoop. Motorcycles are lighter than cars, so they can slow down using engine braking alone. When a rider downshifts into a lower gear, the engine itself helps to decelerate the bike. This means they don't always need to tap the brakes to slow down. However, this can be confusing for other drivers, especially because most motorcycles don't have automatic brake lights that react to deceleration. As a result, the rider may slow down significantly without any visual cue to the cars behind them. That's why it's a good idea to leave a bit of extra space when riding behind a motorcycle. You never know when they might suddenly slow down without any warning lights. Now, let's talk about another move that makes bikers look like they're defying the laws of physics. Number 6. Riding on one wheel. Wheelies explained. We've all seen it. A motorcyclist pulls away from a stop sign, hits the gas, and suddenly they're riding on just the back wheel. It looks wild, like they're showing off or taking unnecessary risks. But why do they do it? It's not always about showing off. For some riders, performing wheelies is a skill, a way to demonstrate their bike control. It's about balancing the bike and using throttle control to lift the front wheel off the ground, while still staying in control of the bike. And for experienced riders, it's often done in safe, controlled conditions. But for some riders, it's just for fun. The rush of pulling a wheelie is addictive, and for many motorcyclists, it's a way to feel the thrill of the bike in a whole new way. And while wheelies are a bold move, they're far from the most dangerous behavior out there. There's one more motorcycle move that might just be the most confusing of them all. Number 7. The mysterious hand signals. Motorcyclists use hand signals to communicate their intentions, but they can be completely puzzling for anyone who doesn't ride. Ever seen a motorcyclist extend their left arm with their hand pointing straight out or down? What's that all about? In fact, these signals are all part of a system motorcyclists use to communicate with each other and with drivers around them. A left arm straight out means a left turn, while a down-pointing hand signals a right turn. The right turn signal might throw you off since it's done with the left arm. Confusing, right? There are also signals for stopping and slowing down, as well as warnings about hazards ahead. For riders, these hand signals are essential for staying safe on the road, especially when riding in groups. But for drivers who don't know what these signals mean, they can seem like cryptic gestures. Motorcycling isn't just about speed. It's a whole different way of navigating the road. From leaning through turns to using hand signals, every move serves a practical purpose, even if it seems confusing at first. Now that you understand the reasons behind some of these strange habits, you might look at motorcyclists a little differently the next time you share the road. They're not just showing off, they're riding with purpose, a skill, and safety in mind. Thanks for watching, ride safe, and see you next time.